Look here, man. So all that now you want to do a countdown? Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the Unpredictables podcast. I'm your host, Dale, aka J. Reaper, and this is
Mr. Versace.
Mr. Versace. You know I like that one. That was better. That was better. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining in for us this Monday. Um, we actually still did not change the title. Not sure why that didn't happen, but we'll figure it out. So if you're looking at your screen right now and it says 5/12/22, it's supposed to read 5/16, episode 16, Monday, whatever the time's supposed to be. But if that's what you're seeing, that's what you're seeing. You fixing that now? Actually, once the show starts and you change it, it doesn't affect it. You actually have to stop the show to change it. So this stream.
I changed the title. The date just didn't change.
No, it's not going to change. If you change it after the stream.
What I'm saying is the title was different. It says Undercover Racism, not Thirsty Thursday.
Okay.
The date. I just didn't change the date, the episode. So correction. Half of it was done.
So half of it was done.
So half. My bad.
So just half-assing it basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, got you.
That's what our government is doing right now with racism in America, anyway.
Yeah, it is. It's half-assed.
Yeah.
So, I think it is switched. Okay. All right, thank you guys for joining in. As we said, I'm Jay Reaper, and that's Mr. Versace. Mr. Versace's back in rare form. He's wearing Versace again. I appreciate that. The viewers appreciate it. Your fans appreciate it. Thank you so very much. You mean everything to us.
And I appreciate them.
All right, today we have some very, very, very good topics. We kind of touched on outside of the show. We like not to talk about it, but some things are just so pressing. We at least have to dibble and dabble. Now, to reassure y'all, we didn't get into the meat and potatoes of it. We just talked about it generally, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows what today's topic is going to be about. Do you have any intro before we get into that topic?
I'm ready to dive in. But I do have a prequel until we jump into the main subject matter.
Okay, what you got?
It all ties in together. So you know that Texas has a law now. And those of you that are social media savvy, you can no longer use certain filters in the state of Texas. They won't work. Any beauty enhancing or skin, anything to enhance your features is no longer available on filters if you are using your phone in the state of Texas.
You're joking.
I am not joking. Try it now. Ask any of the viewers to go to TikTok and try to use a filter, and it will not be there.
What? Okay, this must have happened in the dark of night. I heard nothing of this. What is this? What is this?
I guess because so many people are, you know how what word can I use? You know how like
self-esteem?
Yeah, the self-esteem type deal thing. And then when they're not on TikTok, it's that kind of stuff. My thing is this.
You fugly without a filter.
Exactly. But you're so quick to pass a law.
Oh. I knew you were circling.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, exactly.
I know exactly what you're doing.
Exactly. You passed a law concerning a filter because you're worried about somebody's mental health, correct? Right?
Yes, that's
right. But and then at the same token, you pass a law in the state of Texas not concerned with a woman's mental health.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
And here goes down to the main topic of the conversation. But you cannot pass a law in the state of Texas to get rid of hate or hate propaganda to make that illegal. But you can take a filter off of social media. A filter. Are you serious right now?
You know these politicians are in war with these social media companies anyway, so I'm not sure if that has everything to do with that. But yeah, it is kind of weird how you want to tackle one fraction of the problem and not really addressing the problem at all. That was kind of like the argument we had a while back ago when we talked about guns. One time, we can address this, but that's not going to fix the issues.
Right.
So I think them doing that, Texas, that's literally not. It's not fixing the issue that we have with women and mental health and trying to live up to a certain standard. Say you can't use a filter no more. Now guess what? Now the self-esteem is going to go even further down because now I can't even enhance my beauty that I already feel self-conscious about. So yeah, that's.
So what about my mental health when you're forcing me to carry this child I know I'm not ready to carry?
Ooh.
Like, what about my mental health then?
Ooh.
What about that mental health aspect of it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
knowing I have to carry the child of my father who raped me.
Exactly.
Let that sink in. Like,
yeah.
no,
my father, my uncle, my neighbor, whoever.
Yes. I got to endure the next 9 months of my life because what?
Because some guy, and it still has not been addressed. Okay, this is the burden of the woman. The man that impregnated this woman, what are his consequences?
Oh, his consequences are minute. He may get what?
But why is that? Like you're forcing this woman to carry a child that she does not want to carry.
True.
Why does a man get off with nothing?
Because we don't value women's lives as much as we do men.
Because it goes back to what we talked about, how the foundation of this country wasn't set for anybody but European men.
That's it.
That's it.
So women, y'all got to jump in the minority boat this one time, because any other time they like to plead the minority case. It's sad, but that's what it basically boils down to. There's no value in it. Like there's no value in the black man, no value in the black woman. And then as European women, they believe they hold value. They do more than us, but even then they still don't uphold the same level of respect as their counterparts. Interesting.
Very interesting. Another thing, I went back and I did some research.
All right, what you got?
Do you know, I can't remember, about 60, 70 years ago, for every one black woman that had an abortion, there were 6 white women.
All right, say it. Whoa.
For every one black woman that went and had an abortion, there were 6 white women
that had an abortion.
They had an abortion. So for every 100 black women, there were 600 white women. So here we go. They talk about this replacement theory thing, right?
Yes.
That people are coming over to replace them. That's so ignorant. Like Tucker Carlson is the most ignorant, or he's plain stupid.
Oh, you talking about Tucker?
Yeah. And any of them that holler replacement theory. Like, let's think about this. You control more than 50% of the population. Your race alone has more than 50% of the population. More than 50%.
Yes.
So it takes all the other races combined to even come close to being 50%. I think all the other races combined were like 44 point something percent. So how is that somebody trying to replace you? Not only that, let's take it back a little bit further. Replace what? You replace the Indians. Like, shut up. Get out of here.
No, we earned this land. We killed enough individuals to earn it. That's what it is.
Like Tucker Carlson and his little following, they're either plain stupid or they're just that stupid. I can't believe they're that stupid. They're just plain stupid to appeal to the ones that lack a little bit of intelligence.
Yes.
Because anybody that has some intelligence can do their own research and find out what they're putting out there is just Stupid.
There's no such thing. It doesn't exist.
Or they bring it. And check this out. I heard some politicians today, and Tucker Carlson talking about it too. They're letting the immigrants over. The Democrats want the immigrants to come over so they can gain more votes. Okay, so you're stupid, and anybody listens to you stupid because you just said that anything that you're dealing with, any politician, the ideals that you're going to push or the policy that you're going to push won't be directed towards minorities. They're only going to be directed towards the Europeans.
True.
Because he said that you're bringing them over to get Democratic votes.
Yes.
Okay, so think about that. Let that sink in. The Democrats are allowing immigrants to come over so they can get more votes.
Okay.
So you're pretty much telling everybody that Democrats are looking out for the minority and Republicans are not.
Yeah.
You just said that.
Yeah, so many ways.
You Democrats, immigrants. Okay, immigrants are minorities. So Democrats are looking out for minorities. Republicans must not be. Because you didn't say we are or the government. You said Democrats. You singled it out. You point out that the Democrats are allowing immigrants to come in. That's why they want to open up the borders so they can change the voting. Shut up.
And here's the crazy part. Democrats don't give no fuck about minorities.
Nope.
The perception is they do.
The perception is.
The perception. Oh yeah, let's do this. Let's get these votes. And you ask me, when was the last legislation passed to help any minority of color? I'm waiting.
I just told you know that nobody cares because I'm saying.
But I'm just saying, like Republicans are all Democrats care about minorities and stuff like that, and we are like, yeah, because they're letting us come in. Like, give me a piece of legislation that the Democratic Party has passed that has helped advance African Americans. I'm waiting. I'll sit there and wait. Can you think of any?
No.
But the thing is this, like I said, the problem with us as minorities have married ourselves to this party, believing they're the best thing for us. But I believe, hold on, was it you? No. I think it was Monica. I think she was in Ohio. She said that someone's running for government as an independent and actually came out and said, screw them, I'm for y'all. I was like, man, if we could have an independent that would run, oh my gosh.
Get rid of the parties, period. Like I keep saying that. Everybody's running on, oh, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. What are you? Like, what do you do? Stop doing that. Like, and then another thing is this. Now the mainstream media can't holler the them or they, the far left, the far right, the Democrats. You can't holler that anymore if there's no party.
Yeah.
You can't holler that anymore.
All the party systems do is attack the principles of the other party. That's it. A lot of these campaigns, think about it. Every campaign you watch, very rarely do you hear people talking about what they do. It's about, oh, Joe Biden did this. I fought him with this. Joe Biden did this. I'm gonna do this. And the same thing for oh, Trump did this, but I'm gonna hold on. First of all, fuck Trump. Fuck Biden. Like, what are you doing? Stop telling me about how much you're gonna go against the other party and tell me what the fuck are you really doing. I don't really care. I don't. I'm exhausted because I've lied to me my entire life, and people still are brainwashed to believe that you have our best interests at heart. I told you that the greatest thing is believing a politician actually believes in you is believing the stripper actually likes you.
Exactly. And to pick to the top on that, to add to that, the Supreme Court today.
What do you do?
Ruled in favor of the guy hate from this state, Ted Cruz. Are you good? So
what about Ted Cruz?
So before there was a cap, like let's say I was running for political office, right?
Yeah.
I could contribute up to $250,000 of my own money for my campaign and get that money back from my donors. Only up to $250,000.
Okay.
So pretty much get my money back, right?
Yeah.
Well, Ted Cruz was like, no, it should be unlimited. If I put in $1 million into my campaign, I should be able to get that million back.
Really? So basically, rich people only run for politics.
Pretty much, exactly. That's what I said. This is a white man's world. It's set up for the white, and that's why Donald Trump put the Supreme Court justices in office that he wanted in office, because he knew what he was trying to do. They're trying to make America great again. That's what they're trying to do. And by saying make America great again is make America white again. That's what they want to do.
So basically,
it is what it is. You can read between the lines. Now, the mainstream media might not want to say it. Read between the lines and look at what's happening. Remember, I always tell you, I go by people's actions, not by what they say. Look at everything that's happening.
I always say follow the money.
Yeah.
Follow the money. So basically, you're saying to be a politician, anybody in power, you got to have money.
You got to have money. You got to have money.
We have been.
Get money.
We have been. Yeah, it just.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, the writing's on the wall. Let's do Supreme Court justices.
Yeah.
Right? What else is happening? Like I said, there's ruling about Ted Cruz. Now they want to take women's rights away. It starts off with one thing. You know how it all starts? It starts off with one thing.
Yep.
It's going to just be a trickle-on down effect. They're going to take us back to the 1800s is what they're trying to do. And let's think about that again. So before, like I keep saying, we were always intellectual property, right?
Yes, we were.
Always intellectual property. Women, you were just a housewife.
Yeah.
You were just there to take care of the white man, cook for him, bear his kids, and that's it. You had no say so. Shut your mouth.
Yeah. You're there to bear the kids, clean the house, basically.
That's where that term barefoot pregnant came from.
Yeah. That's where they want you to be, barefoot pregnant.
Exactly.
Getting knocked up and, man.
And to me, that the reason why they're not going to admit it, but the reason why they're passing this abortion thing is because of what I told you earlier. Now, the numbers are kind of evening out a little bit, but they knew that before they were erasing their own population by allowing abortions.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Think about it. I told you, 6 and 1.
Yeah.
You're wiping your own population. So now if I make it illegal, now the white women that want to have abortions can't have abortions. Yeah. So like everybody's looking at an attack on like minorities. No, this wasn't really an attack on minorities. This was to them to make sure they have self-preservation as a white race. That's why the replacement theories are out there.
Replacement theory. What is that? What is a replacement theory?
As a white race.
That just sounds like, I guess it's the counter. Because think about everything that came out from Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, this and that. So I think this is just a response to critical race. That's
the most ignorant thing. Also, like I said, you have to be non-intellectual to even process that all lives matter. Really? Shut up. For you to say something matters or put significance on something to matter at one point in time, it had to have not mattered.
Yeah.
We can say that. Black people can say that. Black people, again, were intellectual property. It's in history books. It's in tax documents. We weren't human beings. We were not considered human beings.
True.
We didn't matter. Mm-hmm. We were treated as cattle. That's how we were treated.
Yeah.
So lives matter. You tell me a point in time where police didn't matter. Police were created to go chase down slave runaways.
Yeah.
That's why there was a police system. So come on, don't tell me, oh, blue lives matter. It was never a time where it didn't matter. White lives matter. There was never a time that white lives were insignificant. You tell me one time in history where white life was insignificant unless they were Jews. You tell me one time they were insignificant. Not in America, it wasn't never insignificant. No. Ever. The only life that was insignificant in America were blacks. You can't even say Asians. Asians came over here voluntarily to help build the river.
Blacks and Native Americans.
And Native Americans. There you go. Native Americans. Yeah. Native Americans and blacks. Yep. The only two races. And they're pretty much, the Native Americans are almost non-existent now.
Yeah, really
they're like 1% of the entire population of the United States of America. That's sad.
It is.
And it's all concentrated in where? Oklahoma. Land that was promised to them that was even taken away from them.
Yeah, think about the land we sitting in right now. This shit is Mexico. We sitting in Mexico right now.
Mexico.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy. People need to wake up and see what's going on around them. But again, things aren't going to change until we make a change. And even our black politicians that are in office right now, they're scared to ruffle any feathers, I feel, because they want to stay in office.
Yeah.
They all want to stay in office.
Yeah, you can see that. And the sad part is, I think we're so, and don't hate me for this, we're so far off the deep end that I'm not saying there's no hope. There's always going to be hope. But the thing is, they was able to brainwash us. So there are three different type of black people, I call them. You have those that are just mind undead.
Right.
You have those that are woke. And then you have those that are sleepwalking.
They're sleepwalking.
The reason I say sleepwalking is because when you sleepwalking, you think you're woke, right?
Right.
You got these black people that believe that they're woke, and that's what they're using to use as pawns. Like, oh yeah, you know, these black, and they're saying all the right things. Well, not saying, but they're acting the wrong way. They're like, yeah, see this. Like, what are you talking about? Like, they're making you. Even this is a facade, and they don't even see it.
Right. Because we don't research. We don't want to educate ourselves on what's going on. Again, we're too consumed with and too busy worrying about what's on TV, what's at the movies, what's the new song that's out, what's the new gear that's out, what's the new car that's out. We're out of touch with what really matters, and even our kids, and we allow our kids to stay out of touch with what matters. That's the sad part. That's the sad part. I bet you, if we go to every university in America right now, probably less than 3% of the university population that's black would know the importance of what's happening in the world today as far as our government and politics and how to change it. The other 97% of the black population that's on the college campus could care less. So JR is gone. Where'd you go, JR? I guess he'll be back momentarily. Oh, here he is. He's back. Are you back? I don't see you. Where are you? I don't see you, JR. Oh, you're back.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back.
I was looking for you.
No, that was crazy. I'm hardwired into my laptop, and it said connection was bad. So I had to hurry up and switch to the Wi-Fi, but I'm back on.
Okay.
What were you saying?
The black population on college campuses across America, I believe only 3% of them are in touch with what's going on in the world that affects us politically in our government. I bet the other 97% could care less. They only come around or it only matters when it's something real significant.
You know what's funny is I sat there. The reason I brought up sleepwalkers is because I seen 1,000 sleepwalkers. Kanye had posted this thing about, people saying he turned his back on the culture. And he was like, yeah, I did. I don't know if it was old or not. He said, because all y'all want to worry about is riding in whips, spending all this money on foreigns and all this money on clothes and stuff like that. And then you had thousands of people like, yeah, Kanye, that's what I'm talking about. See, kind of like, this is the same nigga that charged $400 for some shoes.
Exactly.
And I'm like, what do you like? And I was like, oh, and that's why I say the sleepwalkers, they're more sleepwalkers than our people woke and people sleep, because you had thousands of people, comment on like, look here, see, everyone's trying to say, this is what they said, the media is trying to say Kanye crazy. He not crazy. He trying to look out for the culture. He don't think we need to be spending our money, because he said we need to buy land, we need to do this. And Kanye went on this rant for like a minute about why black people are fucked up. And I'm saying, like, nigga, don't you sell $500 shoes? Don't you sell $1,000? Like, so, but the thing is this, but the kid, I'm not even gonna say kids, because you had grown folks responding like, yo, this is the realest shit I heard all year. It's like, but hold on, but he's a part of the problem. And the fact that you don't see that lets me know there's no hope for you.
Now, I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Yes.
Kanye could come back and say, I didn't expect my people to buy this stuff. I expect the other man to buy it.
Bullshit. No, miss me. No, you can't.
I'm just telling you, if I was his publicist, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
My intention was for the other man to buy this stuff.
Hello? I know I'm live. I'm live. Okay. This Monday. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. It's Monday? Yes, it's Monday. Okay. But
that's what his publicist is going to say.
No, miss me with that shit. You cannot sit there. Well, it wasn't meant for y'all.
Yeah, I can. That's what my publicist is going to put out there. How you going to contradict it?
No, see, we talk about real black folk. We ain't talking about like the sleepwalkers. We talking about real black folk. So really, how you gonna hit me with that? So you telling me as a black man you sell some stuff, you only promoted them? You know what you should do then? Open up a sunbathing tan fucking business and sell to them if that's the narrative that you're trying to get to.
I'm doing it because they're starting to enjoy our culture now. So I'm giving them more what they want. They're gonna get it from me because they like me. They like me, so they're gonna buy my stuff.
No, not buying that brand. I can't. I'm sorry. Look at it. That sounds like
great. Ralph Lauren did.
I get it. You trying to play that?
They Ralph Lauren did.
What?
Ralph Lauren said, "I made clothes not with the intent to sell to black people."
Yeah.
Black people started buying it. Now he catering to black people.
As a black man and a black woman,
I'm just being his publicist.
Now you can be his publicist all you want to. How did you look me in my face and tell me something like that? It makes no sense. I'm not even willing to entertain that one. That was
no, I'm saying that's the comeback he's gonna have, because he's gonna say, well, Shaq tried it.
Shaq sold to us. He marketed
tried
to
it, and
us.
Look what happened to him. He kept the prices low, right?
Yes.
He kept the prices low, right? And what did we do as a people?
We clowned it.
It's
too cheap. Same as Starberry. Remember
Starberry with the M1s.
I had 2 pairs of them. I loved them. I represented him because I believe what that brother was trying to do.
This stuff was in Old Navy.
Yeah. And what did we do? We clowned it.
You clowned it.
It's cheap shit.
Exactly. That's our problem.
Yeah.
That's our problem.
But my thing is this: you cannot sit there and say, as Kanye, "Oh, y'all spending money." Like, shut the fuck. You sell that same bullshit. If you want to be competitive, keep your shit reasonable. Now you ain't gotta be no Starberry selling your shoes for $20.
But at least 110. Like
at the same time, exactly. Make it something. But now if you said $300-$400, man, miss me that when you talk about black people need to buy land. But yeah, you promote your shit every time, man. Fuck you.
So does that go full circle? I'm gonna bring it to. So now we have these black entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
And even in the sports industry,
okay.
Black youth sports, okay?
Oh shit.
Right. So we supposed to be giving back to the community, right? All about the community, right? But why most of the black coaches or black sports franchises, youth franchises, try to make this their full-time job? They charging outrageous prices to profit off of our youth. Why is that?
I can tell you this. There are some people in the game, in the youth game, that's doing it for the right causes.
Yeah.
The sad part that most are not. They're doing it to make money.
Yeah.
A lot of them found out that, like, okay, if I can do this in a sports program, you have guys that don't even have. You have guys that don't have jobs.
Right.
This is what they do. They run a youth association, and then what they do is they use that, and then they justify saying, "Yeah, I got to live somehow." They get a fucking job.
Right. That's how it was back in the day. The coach would work a 9 to 5, and then come and show up after he got work.
B-Fish always comes with those haters. It's like when he sits the send button, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
You see that? He said because American sports are bigger than education.
But I get that. But as a community, the Ubuntu theory. If you don't know Ubuntu,
hey. Look, when you said, I was like, "Fuck, you know about that?"
Like right at the point, like we have to disassociate ourselves with the general
Yeah.
and get back to Ubuntu. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's our problem.
I think I think that's I think that's too deep for the average black person.
It is.
It is.
But that and that's the thing. Like it goes back to the thing we talked about before. Every time we talk about our culture, our race, it goes full circle. Because remember we talked about the music, the influences, music,
Yep.
videos, and
Yep.
things like that. We're not pushing any of the stuff that reflects Ubuntu theory. Nothing. Not even in our households.
No, not even close.
Not even close. We're sure not gonna get in the school. They're trying to wipe us out the schools,
Nah.
period.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna get that in the schools. We don't talk about it during Black History. In Black History, the only thing they talk about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X,
That's it. MLK. That's it. He was the only black person between him, Martin Luther King,
Harriet
Rosa
Tubman.
Parks. Like
Rosa Parks.
you just now start to see people talking about Marcus Garvey, and Marcus Garvey got so many fucking layers to him. It's like, yeah. But even then, people, yeah.
They're not gonna talk about Marcus Garvey.
He was too.
It's too radical.
He was too educated. Same as they talked about. I forgot I was talking to somebody. They was talking about these radical. Most people don't know Huey P. Newton was a doctor.
Wow.
Doctor in psychology. So everything that he was doing, it wasn't by accident.
Right.
He was a doctor in psychology. So he knew the he everything he did was like for a reason.
For a reason. Right.
So they were talking about, this radical guy, he led this rebellion. Last time I checked, doctorates don't lead rebellions.
No.
Educated men lead rebellions.
Right. And the thing is, and that's the scary thing, when you have an educated person that can reach the other intellectuals,
yes,
and have everybody on the same page, then you know it's going to be a problem.
Well, yeah,
that's why you got to shut it down.
Yeah. Once they found out, they got an educated black man in charge.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we can't do this. Look at think of how fast the Black Panthers rose to power and just disappeared. Like
exactly.
it was just as fast.
But the KKK has been around and still around with no issues. None. They can march to rallies with guns, everything else, no issues. Let a group of black men do that and see what happens.
So someone's end up dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even the mainstream media, even like the media that says they're not far right, even like they won't touch on those subjects. No. They won't speak on it. So that tells you you're not far right, but you're scared to say. What is this? They won't mention Frederick Douglass. I used to walk past his house every day.
Oh, you did?
Every day to school.
Man.
Right, his house is in the middle of Southeast DC, in the middle of the hood.
Really?
Yep.
Man.
In the middle of the
judge, man, I used to do this thing with my kids. Once a year, they have to do like a report on some type of significant black person, and they couldn't use anybody. They couldn't use all the I call them the layups.
Right.
You couldn't do one on
Martin Luther King.
No, it's too easy. It's way too easy. Jesse Jackson. You need to go dig in the weeds. And then what happened is most of the time they come back with like 3 or 4. Like, what? Do you know this guy created this? He created that. He created that. But it goes back to what we talked about. The school system isn't educating our kids on how powerful we are, and that is why we are where we are.
Yeah.
We don't understand our power. We are. Think about it. There's been scientific data to prove that a black child is more advanced coming out the womb by 17 times than his counterpart. Think about it. They say typically a black baby comes out in 3 days, it's able to control his head. You know, it takes them a month, European kids, a month to be able to move their recognition. Wow. Like they did the scope of spectrum up to a year old. And they said, it is so ridiculously how much advanced we are. And then as we become adults, this is what happens.
You know why?
Oh yeah, it's a system. It's meant to do that.
Right. Let's think about what is pushed out here that caters to us, that help us advance intellectually. Everything that's pushed is to help us degress.
Oh,
Liquor,
Oh yeah.
smoking.
Yep.
Come on, man.
But think
And-
about all these. But hold on. But think about all these stories you hear about these kids that graduate school at 12 years old, 13 years old, 14
right,
years old. 99% of the time, what are they normally? They're usually of color, right?
right. They're not Caucasian.
No, think. I mean, just like I
They're
forgot
not
what
I can tell you that they're not Caucasian. They're
they
not. They're other.
they it was on a news story. They was like they took these 12 kids that were like just geniuses. This kid got a doctorate before he was 15. And it was funny because it was like 10 blacks, one Hispanic, and then one. And it was like, and it's like the commentator wanted to say something about it, but like all these black kids that are literally teenagers have master's degrees. But like, this can't be a coincidence. It's not.
Not a
It's
coincidence.
not. It's
Go
not.
back to history. There used to be a DVD that I got from T.D. Jakes was part of this DVD. He got together with another pastor out of Norfolk, Virginia. And they made this DVD called When We Were Kings. And it's phenomenal. If I can find it, I'm going to put it on here. Like, called When We Were Kings. It talked about the development of the world.
Okay.
And it's been scientifically proven that we were creators of everything. When I'm talking about everything, I'm talking about math, science, astronomy, everything. And this was scientifically proven. And they showed this DVD, and I bought it. I can't find it now, but it's called When We Were Kings. See if you can ever come across that. And T.D. Jakes was in that. Like I said, it was a bunch of black pastors that got together and created this documentary. It's great.
I know. I remember hearing a doctor from, I think, Harvard. Harvard or Stanford. He came back, was pretty much saying the same thing. Like, everything that came of significance came from, African descent. And he went on further to declare that Africans are closest to the Homo sapien gene than any other race. And he actually said this. This is a white guy who said this. Caucasians are more in line with the Neanderthals.
Wow.
Yes, he said, look here. He said, I have conclusive data to support that the Homo sapien race came from African descent, but the Caucasian came from Neanderthals, cavemen. And when he came out with that, you should have, because he was talking to his constituents. There was a whole sea of white dudes in the audience, bro. And the looks on their faces was like, bro, I tell you, it was the best time of my life. Like, they were just so in disbelief, pissed off, like, how dare you? And he was like, look here. He said, if anybody in here can refute my evidence, I will resign my seat of board of such and such. And it was silence.
Wow.
Nobody. I'm gonna find that clip. I'm gonna play that because that's, and I think that's something that our kids need to see, because in the state of Texas, they're not gonna see no shit like that no more.
Right.
It's over with. It's done with. That's why, you know what? I'm glad nephew being homeschooled. That way he can get it the right way.
Yeah.
Because in schools, right, it's yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Mr. Visagie.
Yeah, I was trying to find that freaking.
All right, while he's trying to find the information, I do have the stock news. I like to do the stock news, but I don't know why. But stocks are down. When I say down, I mean down significantly. NASDAQ down 24%, S&P down 15%, the Dow is down 11%. Bitcoin, Bitcoin was up, right? Bitcoin is down 32%. Not 1%, 32%. Netflix is down 68%. So for those that's invested into stocks and bonds, if you want to buy some Netflix, now's the time to buy some Netflix because it's down. It's down now.
Wow. Hey, what do you think the sham on these freaking gas prices?
Look at the price of oil has dropped, but yet at the gas pump it is not.
JR.
Yes.
Do you know during the Iraq War, the gas oil was $78 a barrel, right? We were paying like, oh, B Fish is on.
Oh,
Oh, he just there he is.
Okay. Right? You put him on the bottom?
He's on the
No,
bottom.
it's cool. I'm cool. What's going on, man? Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, we
Good,
good.
good, man. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, man.
Hey, put me over here. I'm boy. I'm talking.
No,
to you.
man.
I'll put you there then. How about
No,
that?
put me back in the corner, man.
Whoever's talking to but so thank you for joining me, Fish. Appreciate it, man.
So why is it that every time there's a catastrophe, right? Gas prices go up, right? And then when that catastrophe is over, gas prices never drop back down. It stays up. This help me understand because the Iraq War started.
Okay.
Before the Iraq War, we were paying like $1.35, $1.55 a gallon for gas. I don't know if y'all know that or not.
I don't.
Yeah,
I guess it's
$1.55 a gallon.
I just know when I started driving, it was like 99 cents.
It cost me like $55 to fill up the Navigator
Ooh.
way back then.
Okay.
Then the Iraq War has been over, right? But then gas still kept slowly going up. $2, $2.25, $2.30, $2.50. Then we hit the $3 mark. Right? Now before the Ukraine war, why didn't gas prices drop back down? Now all of a sudden there's another war. Now gas is $4 a gallon, $4.15 a gallon. I bet you when this is all said and done, we won't go back down below $3.
Ooh, we got to, man.
No, it's too. Why isn't there a cap on how much the oil companies profit? There should be a cap on max profit. There should be a max profit margin for every industry.
Okay.
That takes away inflation. Think about inflation. I don't know how people really understand what inflation is.
Yeah.
Inflation is when consumers have to pay more for the same goods. Well, who raises these prices? The retailer.
Yeah.
The retailer is raising these prices. So if he knows supply and demand, like, oh, I can jack these prices up by 200% now, they're going to pay for it.
So you think the government should regulate how much they charge?
They should regulate the profit margin.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? The profit margin. That controls inflation.
All right.
Like, people that are uneducated don't understand that.
Yeah.
Inflation is not some tax thing. No, it's not a tax thing. It's how much more you have to pay for the same goods you were paying for a week ago. If I paid $5 for a pair of socks and now I got to pay $8 for a pair of socks, that's inflation. It went up $3.
Yeah.
What caused it to go up $3? If that man's profit, okay, let's say that man only made 20% profit when I paid $3, then his profit should be 20% when I'm paying $8.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be 20% profit when I paid $3, and now he's at 75% profit when I'm paying $8.
Yeah, true.
You see what I'm saying? No.
Yeah. So you're saying that we need to figure out, like, they need to, especially since that affects us all. Because if you're getting the whole thing, like, okay, well, they should regulate all industries, then you make it a little dicey. But they should be able to regulate massive industries, kind of like the monopoly rule, where like they prevent you from forming a monopoly.
Like like oil, gas, like stuff like that. Well, and you know the biggest racket there is to me is the housing industry.
It makes no sense.
How the hell do I pay 3 times more for my house at the end of my mortgage? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
The taxes are even worse because at this point, I protested my taxes for the first time in like 20 something years today. And the funny thing about that is that I had a coworker that told me when he protested his, they only brought it down by about 30 grand.
Wow.
And when I look at the Central Appraisal District versus what Zillow is offering people, the difference in the market value versus what my house is appraised for is about $1,000.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sorry, $100,000.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn.
But the difference between my house now and 3 years ago is about $60,000 to $65,000. And as a result, my taxes have damn near went up by like 3 or 4 grand.
That's another racket.
Yes. I got a note that a letter that my escrow had a shortage.
Right.
And now I'm paying an extra damn near $250 a month for my house note.
That happened to us last year.
Yeah.
They have no.
And it's like everything when you spoke on inflation, everything is going up. Like for instance, my car insurance has went up by like $80.
For what?
Right.
For what?
I'm like,
What
why?
has changed? Because, oh no. Hear me this one was saying one thing I disagree with you. The
What?
biggest racket in the fucking America
Is
is insurance. Hands down. Because I can pay thousands upon thousands into this insurance just in case some shit happen.
And it's a just in case. It's not a for sure, bro.
But here's the problem I have with that. By law, if I don't have it, I go to jail.
Right. You're forcing me to have it.
You're forcing me to have some shit.
You know why?
No. My thing is this: why can't I just have me a fund that I'm paying fucking
You know why?
No, I'm paying $200-300 a month, right? Let's just say I got a savings account. I pay $200 or $300 a month to savings account. If some shit happens, I'd rather pay for it when I got it.
You know why?
Why?
The lobbyists. The lobbyists push for that to be passed in Congress.
But here's the problem I have though. If that's the case, then why is every major football stadium, all these they pay billions of dollars to get these sponsorships and endorsements. No, so I'm talking about millions and millions of dollars they're throwing away. And all this is our money. That's all it is.
Right.
Because more people
root cause. Lobbyists push for bills to be passed. So some lobbyists that works for the auto insurance companies was slid a couple of money and went to Congress and slid some money and said, hey, pass this bill.
But didn't they say too that a lot of these the rich people hide their money in like life insurance and stuff because some of it pays them dividends at the end of the year.
That's why life insurance you have life insurance policies that pay you dividends now.
Right. And see, my brother actually sells insurance and does financial planning and stuff like that. And he tells me about it all the time. But it's funny, it's like a lot of people they hide their money in that and then they get paid at the end of the year, almost like getting a bonus.
Right.
Off of that money that they put the insurance into. So those could get passed in those lobbyist bills and things. And when the book of bills is this thick and that stuff is tucked in the middle somewhere, we'll never see that.
You never see it. That's
why
I
never see that.
They need to get rid of lobbyists. They're modern day mafia. That's what it is.
Right.
Modern day mafia.
Can they get them on the RICO charge?
Yo, hey, let's be real. Like, that's all it is.
It is.
All it is. Hit them with the RICO. You hitting everybody else with a RICO.
Right.
Everybody. You know what? That's what I wanted to talk about. I said on Thursday is how, man, the industry trains so much because like everyone's putting so much in their rhymes now. Like this makes the 7th rapper in the past year that's getting hit with some shit they put in their lyrics.
Is that a deal of where keeping it real goes wrong? Like
yes,
it's been guys. I've seen some guys get arrested on their video shoot because they were holding guns and stuff, and everybody was on paper. And then they was shooting the video shoot like 100 feet away from an elementary school. You know what I mean? And all these dudes are strapped, and then the police showed up, jumped out, and started grabbing people. About 30 dudes got arrested.
You see, that goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Why are we doing that?
That's a great question, and the way I see it is that because I wanted to speak on that, and it's what we glorify. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so say I have like the tale of 2 different neighborhoods. Okay, so like growing up on one side of the tracks and then living on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when you go over here on this side, you have people that are preaching to you on the other side of the tracks. The only way out of here is by getting a football scholarship, getting a basketball scholarship, do something like that, and don't come back.
Okay,
but if you stay, you're gonna probably end up selling dope and get killed in the hood.
Hold that thought, real quick, Fish.
Okay, go ahead.
Go back to Ubuntu. That's the message you're getting now. When I grew up in that same neighborhood, that wasn't the message.
Right. But that's what I was speaking on.
No, he said there was
I was in 2 different neighborhoods.
That's what I'm saying.
When I go back to the middle class neighborhood on the other side of the tracks,
that's
everybody's pushing that.
But that's what I'm saying. In Southeast DC, growing up in the 70s, the message was go to school, get your education, stay out these streets, come in the house by the time the street lights come on. There's nothing out here for you. Yeah. If Miss Mary call you down the street, you better get your butt home, boy. If I call your grandma,
well, that's your ass.
You better get home. Yeah. You know, we wouldn't push that narrative. That narrative wouldn't start being pushed until the federal government got in and they realized that we were educating ourselves too quick and we were catching up. Then the federal government got in and allowed the different narrative they put. That's why drugs started becoming. There we go. Well, this getting real deep right now. Right. Drugs was brought in by the federal government. Oh yeah. Once drugs was brought in, then that's when the Supreme Court overturned for Luke Skywalker. As long as you put a censor sticker on here, go ahead and push this music out. Yeah. You got to think, before all that, the music that black people was putting out. Let's listen to some Marvin Gaye. Let's go listen to some Otis Redding. We weren't pushing this stupid stuff out to what we talked about the other day, self-genocide. Yeah. And so it's the narrative in the neighborhoods have changed because the people that are in those neighborhoods now grew up on that stuff. Yeah. So we have to go back and change that narrative. Go ahead.
See, I guess maybe my point was misunderstood because what I was speaking on is that in that other neighborhood, yes, we were raised by the village. We had the whole thing where if you acted up in school, you might get whooped by everybody in the whole neighborhood. Right. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, yeah, you're right. When drugs came about, that changed. You had the neighborhood split.
They did.
And you'll have that neighbor across the street that they don't have those jobs. They don't have those some of those final things that they can go get. So now they feel like the only way they can get it is by selling dope. They quit school in 8th grade. Yep. You know, they quit school and so now that's their education. And their education leads them to believe that this is all I can do to get by because they had food stamps, they had all the government assistance, but it wasn't fast enough. We need fast money. We need other things to do. And the kids buy into that and they see these movies and they see this lifestyle and they think that's what I'm gonna do, but they don't see that tragic road that's at the end.
But at the end of the day, those movies can only be made with us if we're in them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Those videos can only be made by us if we're in them. Let's go back in the day when there was no black people allowed to be actors, right? What did they do? They used white people, blackface.
Yeah, the 10 Commandments. I mean, come on.
If you want black people to be portrayed in a negative light, then go blackface yourself and portray black people in a negative light. But don't get my people to come do it. But we're so, like you said, we're so caught up in that quick money. Oh, I will do that movie for $100,000. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'll sell my soul and my people for $100,000. We're not looking at it that way.
But we also gotta look at this situation, right? You got some people in situations where they get out for a movie like, man, my daughter ain't eating tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like I get what you're saying for the culture. But I've said this, and I'm not saying this sound like I'm a badass. Yo, before Princess starves, I'm putting a ski mask on. And I'm not saying this to sound like I'm a badass, but my kids gonna eat. So I'm not gonna judge them that.
We have to change that mentality because I used to go borrow a cup of sugar from my neighbor.
Yeah, we do, but we can't do that nowadays.
No, we can't.
Nowadays it's this.
No,
nowadays
we have to stop. We have to stop saying that because this is what I'm gonna go to. If Martin Luther King and Malcolm X said, "Well, we can't do that nowadays," we've never been in the situation that we're in. We have to stop saying what we can't do and focus on what we can do and change the narrative. Like we can do that. We can't do that now because we're afraid of our own people.
Yeah,
that's the problem. And why we're afraid of our own people because they're growing up on this stuff, and unless we stop that cycle, it's going to continue to perpetuate. And that's what they want. They want this to be a revolving door and let it continue to perpetuate.
Last 5 minutes, we gotta hit. We gotta hit.
Long we want this our show.
Actually, realistically, we can't.
Wait a minute.
Hey, we gotta get on Buffalo. We got to touch.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk on Buffalo. You got to.
So check this out.
Okay.
Be fixed. What you got? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say all of this kind of leads up to Buffalo because
it does.
When you speak on Buffalo, what you're looking at, man, is like, okay, we teach guns, right? When you go into one neighborhood and everybody think a person with a gun is a gangster, and they think that we finna ski mask up and go do something. But then when you go to the other neighborhoods, like in Buffalo, you got the older people who don't believe in that. God is gonna protect me. I'm fine.
Right.
Or stuff like that. And then the law won't allow it because probably in that area per capita there's more black people than anything. You know what I mean? So, but go ahead. I'll let you speak on that. I'm sorry, man.
Nah,
It's frustrating because you can't.
Go.
No, dude, you're tripping.
Go,
What I'm looking at is just that, like, they tell you to be prepared for stuff like that, but how can you prepare like a 72-year-old woman, an 80-year-old woman? You know, these people are like living their life and just trying to go to the grocery store, and then somebody pops out, and racism shows its ugly head, and that's what happens, man.
They actually sat there and showed a message. They was asking why, and he actually said the reason I chose that because I was trying to get more bang for my buck. I knew they weren't going to be armed, and I was trying to shoot as many people as I could.
Exactly. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Nobody was there to protect himself. The only person that could stand up to him was a security guard, and the guy had on body armor.
So what do you do? What did we do? Like, there was a guy that spoke on this earlier, and actually, I saved the video, and I was supposed to play it, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. But he was talking about the point, like, when are we going to realize that they are not coming to save you? We've been preached, and we think that we're like, okay, well, the cavalry's coming, the cavalry's coming. The cavalry isn't fucking coming. It's not. Do what you do to protect your own to get home.
But in this particular case, the law prevents them from doing anything where they can meet force with force.
Yeah, that's true.
As far as gun wise, in this case.
Sure about that?
What do you mean?
That's not what I'm reading.
Go ahead. Show it up. Look, we all three on the computer. Come on, Dave. You spoke first.
Yeah, you act like you already had some.
It says the single most important thing a citizen from both New York can do as part of a lawful self-defense plan, because it's so called, they have to see one of you guys. It's to become properly, professionally, and educated in the use of your Roscoe. They call it the Roscoe. It's always highly recommended Buffalo, New York-based individuals seek a local authority permit trainer and attend a basic concealed carry training course. So they can have it, but I got to see the laws of when they can use it. Now, I do
New York? Whoa. New York laws are
New York?
Dude, Buffalo. Dude, New York. Hold on. New York laws are
Buffalo, you got to go straight to Buffalo because every part of New York.
No. The laws for guns are run on a state level. That is not done on a city or county level. That is a state level.
I'm reading you with this, this straight from Buffalo. They're Buffalo-based gun ranges that will no longer allow you to bring your ammunition in. You have to buy the ammunition from the range.
Okay.
So that means they can have guns.
But dude, hold on. I need to look. I was check this out. I flew to. I think I told B Fishes. I flew to Ohio a couple weeks ago. I want to go shoot, but I knew I had to lay over in New York. And B Fish, what I do? I kept my motherfucking guns here. I didn't want to wear the risk.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I got up there. They had some crazy rules. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, New York's pretty cut dry by the gun rules. I'm pulling them up. They got red flag and all that shit up there. You probably know what red flag is, don't you? Oh, here it is. Oh, wow. The accused of Buffalo shooter mocked. Oh, okay. The accused Buffalo shooter mocked New York gun laws, modified assault rifle with outlaw magazines. Let me see. Hold on, let me show you and share. Just in case, make sure I come across something I'm gonna.
We finna run out of time reading what we typing.
We are much better time.
Okay, so the discrepancy is this: concealed carry is only legal with a New York pistol license. The one exception are pistol licenses from New York City, which are valid statewide. New York does not recognize permits, licenses from any other states. Only residents part-time residents or anyone who is principally employed or has his or her principal place of business can obtain a New York pistol license. Now, where the discrepancy comes in is that no handguns can be taken into the city unless New York City has validated your license. In addition, a New York pistol license is not valid in the 5 counties that make up New York City. There are several types of New York pistol licenses available, but the most commonly issued are the concealed carry and possess on premises licenses. They have restrictions. They really don't require a license. So what are the 5 counties that make up
That's
New York City? Is Buffalo included in that?
No, Buffalo is upstate New York. New York
Right.
City is like Manhattan, the Bronx, Harlem. Yeah.
So you're thinking centrally located New York City, like the nucleus that makes it up, not the outskirts.
Not the outskirts.
Right. But in this particular case, most of these people that he shot were women. I believe one of the young men was autistic that was helping one of the women. I hate to put it like this, but the guy just picked damn near the perfect storm of a place to attack, man.
They said he scoped it out. But so let's talk. Let's go ahead and talk about when you say Buffalo, JR. You talking about the situation or the gun laws or all of it? Is he gone again? He gone again. Something wrong with his internet.
I think he wanted to speak on the fact of it being racially motivated.
There you
There he goes. Yeah.
Do you see the controversy right now? Have you heard the press conferences by the police department in Buffalo?
I haven't seen any of them.
So there's a whole thing now that people are making threats on social media. I'm assuming it's against the perpetrator. They're saying, well, remember, we have to assume he's innocent until proven guilty. What? This fool.
No.
Live with it.
Let me stop you.
Hey, he was twitching. He was on Twitch.
Let me stop you right there because I'm gonna call this right here. And if I'm lying, I'm flying. Check this out. I've seen this story before. Whenever there is someone of the European descent
Right.
who does something, they're young, they always go mental health. Watch this. You're gonna start seeing shit in the news.
I believe it, but my whole thing is, how do you sit there in a press conference and say he's innocent until proven guilty? What more proof do you need? He videotaped himself. He was live streaming.
I'm just talking about going forward. They're gonna watch this. They're gonna start talking about, oh, he was mentally this. He was.
They tried to do that with that Georgia case. Remember?
They always do that. Look, whenever there's someone of European descent that does something like this, oh, he was mentally this. He was mentally this. But let's say 2 black dudes should have. Oh, they were thugs. They were.
Yeah, they're thugs. It's always thugs.
It's always when something like this happens, they're gonna always deflect and say, oh, he was mentally unstable. Like,
hey, JR.
So you telling me the black kid that literally got beat by his stepdad had to go from this homeless? He didn't have any mental issues. He's a piece of shit. But this kid who lived a life of luxury.
You're a Fox guy, right?
I'm a what guy?
You're a Fox guy. You watch Fox sometimes, right?
Yeah, I do.
Look, I'm on Fox News website right now, right?
Yeah.
Not one story is related to the Buffalo incident. Former White House aide calls out Dems. Michelle Obama word choice social media. Musk emoji response to Twitter. 13-year-old teen's disappearance. Jury selected for Durham trial for former Clinton lawyer. We're warning you. Out of order, Justice Clarence Thompson rips into liberal media critics. Nothing. Yeah. Not one iota.
That's crazy.
Not one iota on the Buffalo shooting.
That's crazy.
Tucker Carlson tonight, special report, Democratic front running Pennsylvania primary, whatever. Stroke. Billionaire Bezos and President Biden spar over inflation. Oh, now, police believe a little small corner, 5 bullets down. Police believe both the New York shooter was motivated by racism.
Maybe he said it.
He said it. It's not belief. It's in his manifesto.
Yeah. It's a 180-page manifesto.
Yeah, he had a manifesto. So when does it change from alleged shooter to actual shooter? Like, he's on video. Like, how is it alleged? Like, he did it. Like I'm lost.
He did it, and it's like you got an IP address that streams straight from him. Like,
Yo, you from your
he's a
Twitch
pimp.
account,
Like,
like yo.
come on,
He's
man.
on camera.
Like, if I downloaded some illegal movies in my house and kept my without using a VPN,
They gonna find
came
your
from
ass.
your house, Mr. Henry.
Right.
From your house,
Like-
you're guilty. Like, come on,
That's crazy.
stupid.
And it just meant when Jared and I spoke earlier, we were trying to figure this out. How did he make it out alive? Why did we get a conversation when we pull up? Why is he not shot and put down at that point?
Because of European descent. That's why.
But lately they've even been shooting people of European descent when they come to investigate a mental health call. They shot a couple, not a lot, but a couple.
Yeah, not enough to be significantly different.
But
this
see, like
right
when that guy did that in Dallas, we spoke on that. He went and he shot those police officers.
Yep,
They sent the robot with a bomb after him.
Blew his ass up. They sent a
Right.
bomb and blew him the fuck up. Like I've never heard of them blowing somebody with a
blow
bomb.
somebody up with a bomb.
Right.
He went
Now a
in
lot
with
of people
the
think that it was never really a shooter that they were after. But we can't prove that. You know what I'm saying? It's alleged that a lot of that sparked up to like cause something else because it was during a Black Lives Matter, rally or whatever. But at the same time, how does this guy get handcuffed and walked away, and now we can even discuss a defense? He should not have made it out.
Because he killed 10 black people.
Right. The same as the guy that killed the black people in the church. He sat there and had a little service with him and then started killing people. Like,
because he killed black people.
so my question is this then.
So
when y'all spoke on the people, the black people, the different types earlier, and and JR spoke on woke people and stuff like that. So when do we, as a community and as black people with the Ubuntu theory and things like that, decide that we no longer want to be sheep and we want to control our own neighborhoods, police our own streets, and stop people from coming in and out of them that don't belong?
We can do that.
Hold on, stop. Be finished. Watch what you say, man. They may come after you.
No, but you can do that though. You can do that.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like we're so divisive that
We
can't do that.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, we can't even agree on like protecting our own little small
We can't
neighborhoods.
agree on playing a football game.
Right,
Bruh.
right,
Hey, look,
right,
me
right.
and you know personally. Me and you know very personally. Like we sometimes it's hard to work with us. Like we may both have the same vision, but different ways to get there. But just because you don't have the same vision that I do, fuck it, I'm gonna take my ball, I'm gonna go home. I'm not trying to call out names. I'm just saying, like we got the same end game in mind. We just got different ways to get there. But yet, man, fuck you, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Because
We see each other as competition instead of comrades, man.
because we have been conditioned that way since birth.
Right.
We got come on now. But if we really woke, we should be able to see through that shit.
You just saying, like, so many of us sleepwalking, we not woke, and then the propaganda is still feeding us that. So we're going to continue to think that way. Like I said, until the root cause, until we change the root cause, this is going to be a never-ending circle.
So okay. So when you talk about changing the root cause, does that take something like a 5-year business plan? Like how does that get implemented to where it flips now when it starts in that down that road, and how long do you think that may take?
So
because we've been brainwashed all our lives.
And we still and the thing is right now we're to the point where it's going to take probably 2 decades at least, because I'm gonna tell you right now, we're so caught up in this rap game. I'm gonna take Jermaine Dupri's thing, rap game.
Right.
That we do anything for that dollar and for that notoriety. Right now we want notoriety and we want that dollar. We will literally sell our soul to the devil for it, right?
Right. We'll do anything for the bag.
Anything
for the bag. Look,
and I think, and it's funny because I think the biggest issue with that is chasing that bag. Is a lot of them don't understand that what the people before us went through to even get it to where we can even touch the bag. Because what I'm saying is, when you talk about the 20 years, it's probably never going to happen because we need about 2 or 3 generations to pass through.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because the ones that are below us now, they don't even believe that slavery happened.
Yes.
They think that's a joke. Like, no, that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And then the rich people that look like us, it doesn't affect them because they don't have to come to our communities. They can buy their way out.
Exactly.
They gone.
Exactly.
You have very few of those who made it out and try to reach back and put their hand out. A lot of us, once we get to that position, we're like, man, I made it out, man. I wish y'all the best. They're not on some fuck y'all shit.
Bro,
But I made it out.
That's cold. He said, I wish y'all the best. That's like saying, y'all figure it out. I'm out.
That's what they are. Let's be honest.
You're right.
They on that shit. So it's like, yo, man, like, because me and Henry talked about this 2 shows ago. Think about all the black billionaires in the United States. We could easily have our own NFL league, NBA league. Think about all the biggest money makers in this country. We can have our own shit, but we won't. Why? Because once they get that position of status, like, yo, man, hey, I'm gonna donate $1 billion here. I'm gonna donate
I'll take it further than that. So why do people like? Okay, I know not Wyclef. What's his name? Locked up. Akon. He went to his own country to do stuff.
Oh,
right?
Yes,
to build the school and the electric company and all that. But then you get here, Oklahoma goes to a whole other country to build a school for girls. I think LeBron tried to do something with a school here. But man, damn, a sports team, why can't they build a university? Why don't they put their money into these HBCUs? Why can't we get something else like that?
Yo, preach, brother. Preach.
You know, because I see what Deion is doing, and that's cool. But at the same time, he's over here like preaching for people to come. Let's build up this team football field. Let's build up their locker room. Like, I get that, but I know education comes with that too because you can't get out without it. But at the same time, L deals and stuff like that, education is like at the back, bro. So sports, how can we get sports to die down a little bit and we get education to come up?
Check this out. A couple of months ago, actually about a year ago, me and Henry found out that TCA, Texas Christian Academy, it was founded after segregation. And we found out that a lot of these private schools were founded. Look at the year they was founded. It was founded the year after the federal government forced them to desegregate these schools. So they actually said that we're going to within their original doctrine, it says that we're doing this so we can, promote, stuff for white kids and all this other stuff. So I'm just thinking about that's where my mind's going. I just want to use a prefix where I'm getting at. Why not us create our own private schools to teach our own narrative, to give us some extra education? Because I was talking to my son not even a month ago. David, how many home ec class, shop classes, and shit you remember back in the day?
Me?
Yes, you.
How many I have?
Yeah.
I had one in every grade.
Do you know that
all the way up through high school?
Do you know right now that shit is non-existent? There's no such thing as shop.
I took wood shop class, 7th grade, 8th grade.
Home ec,
and all through high school because I want to be around the girls.
That does not exist. So be fish.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you remember that shit, don't you?
Yeah.
You remember that? Like the engineer class, like the shop class, you working on some shit. You don't even know what you're doing. But like it's teaching you some shit. So I'm gonna go a little bit further. I'm gonna backtrack it. Yeah, not only in college, collegiately, HBCUs, why not let's form some private high schools we can actually get educated on?
What do you think? Well, okay, so where do you think you could see? I know they try prime prep and stuff like that. So where do you think you could see an all black led charter school just out somewhere? Or do we have one that I don't know about?
We have some.
We have some.
Yeah, we have some.
But are they okay?
There's a brother in New York, and he forces all the boys. It's a boys' school. He forced all the boys to wear suit and tie every day. They have a 100% graduation rate. But the school is a small school though, and they do what they can with the money that they can. But yeah, they said he created a blueprint, but it's not being followed.
But I'm gonna go back to B. Fisher's question. The biggest problem that we have is our young parents.
Right.
Our young parents with the mindset of, like you said, these previous 2 generations, whereas like, and I know Cardi B's making money, you know what I'm saying? I know Migos are making money, but the message that they're pushing are what that generation is receiving and believing in.
Yeah, that's true.
And they want to emulate that and feel like they can be that, you know, and
right.
That's the problem. And the message isn't, let's go to school, let's become productive citizens.
Let's get a bag.
Let's go get this
Let's
bag.
get a bag.
Whatever we got to do, let's go get this bag.
Whether it be a Birkin,
Right.
whether it
So
be
so
whatever,
I'll play
get the bag.
devil's advocate for a minute.
Right.
What
All right,
about
let's
the
go.
side? What about the side of Cardi B that's always arguing with these politicians via Twitter and stuff when she's trying to say that they're wrong for the laws that they're passing? You know, she questions them on some things.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Yeah,
to
but-
me,
but the-
like the only people that's listening to that are people like us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
people that are listening to that other message that you're sending are our youth.
Yeah.
When you start talking politics, our youth ain't listening to you no more, Cardi. They shut that down.
Blue. Hey, what's
When
your
you
next
talk
song?
about
What's your-
shaking your ass or shooting up somebody, oh, they're gonna turn that up. You see what I'm saying? That's the
Right.
problem. Like your message has got to be consistent. I understand you selling records, but as we're gonna talk about selling our soul to the devil, you're selling your community for that dollar.
We talked about this last week. See what happened. See what happened to Common, Most Def, KRS-One, all these brothers that was on these platforms. Once they started talking about that shit, what happened? What happened?
And the thing is, it didn't have to be.
FaceTime started to go down. Like all that FaceTime they were getting, it slowly went away. What happened? It's not that their fans went away, but like the record labels, the media, they wouldn't give that amount of attention.
The white people. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Let's go back. Rappers Delight, Curtis Blow.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Let's
Man,
go
you went
back.
back. You went back.
I'm going back because I'm going back.
Be fixing the music, dude. So I'm going
back to a time where even the music that we created, rap and everything, was positive music.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
positive music,
True.
and they still made money.
Yeah.
During that era, they still made money. But the problem is this: white media, or I'm not gonna say white media, white record labels. Like we talked about this before. No black person owns 100% of a record label.
True.
Not one.
True.
Not one.
Wait,
Let's
Snoop
talk
just
about-
bought Death Row. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
but even at that, royalty.
Even when people talk about Aftermath,
Right.
Aftermath is owned by Interscope.
Right.
Like so, like
That was just
I
a
get-
division of.
Exactly. It's a division of it's a subsidiary of it. And all royalties are paid by white people. BMI and ASCAP.
Yeah.
All royalties are paid by them. So they're looking like, hey, yo, let's go back to Colors. Y'all remember Colors, right?
Right.
Colors.
Oh, hell yeah.
Colors
That's my shit.
was a hit at the box office, right? Everybody rode that wave. The music industry, like, oh, wait a minute. We got something here.
Yeah.
Let's push this out. Eazy and them came. Boom. NWA. And then we just stayed that course. And we were so caught up in it, even me, we were so caught up in it. Like we rode that wave, not understanding the full effect that it's having like it's doing now.
Yeah.
And that's the thing now, because nobody told us then, like, don't listen to that because of XYZ. We were just so happy that, oh, stuff ain't censored no more.
Right.
Go ahead and listen.
Because at the time, as soon as they saw hip hop about to be the next thing,
Yep.
they figured out a way to integrate into it and turn it into a negative. They kept trying to pit hip hop versus rock and roll and hip hop versus blues and stuff like that. And then we had the drug thing that came about and it flipped hip hop on its head.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then that's when we went from like McGruff the Crime Dog and all that kind of stuff. We started seeing Ronald Reagan. Yeah. We started seeing like we started wearing Dare t-shirts and Ronald Reagan was everywhere and keeping kids off drugs. And it was crazy.
But they said that was one of the biggest failures in the federal government. They said the DARE program was an utter failure.
Because at the same time, the drugs were running the neighborhood rampant. Like
rampant. Everybody was Nino Brown.
Right, bro. Right.
Yeah. And that's what you wanted to be. You wanted to be Nino Brown.
Bag over here and hand it to this guy.
And look how many artists was in that movie.
Right.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Because when you see them, even the people that you didn't know the name of, you remember them from that movie.
Yep. Chris Rock.
They all right.
Yo, why you going there? Why did you go there?
Everybody remember Chris Rock.
Everybody
remember Chris Rock in that movie.
Yeah.
He was that movie.
About Al B. Sure, they remember Chris Rock.
Right. Al B. Sure was an afterthought. We do jumping jacks and everything, acting like Chris Rock. Hey Pookie, like you're right. You know what I'm saying? Nobody remember
No,
what Albie Shore did. Like, who is he?
no, like,
Yeah,
who? Who?
it's either Pookie or Am I My Brother's Keeper?
Yeah,
You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying?
my brother's keeper.
Exactly.
Led to other movies like Sugar Hill and all that kind of stuff. And then you get further, you're looking at Martin. They reenacting those scenes. That's why turtlenecks. It influenced the whole culture.
It did,
Yeah.
really did.
They forget that you sit there and listen to something over and over again. It just indwells that into you that this is what you should be in order to be somebody.
And we're still pushing that same message today.
Right. And then when something that's considered a blessing happens, you don't even know what it looks like
Don't know
because
what it looks like.
the people begged for a black president. They finally got one, but he wasn't black enough. He didn't do enough for black people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
Yeah.
it's crazy. And when y'all spoke about other stuff earlier, I know the time is gone and we've been, talking for a minute. But when we talked about the big names in Black history, so you guys know that there is a Frederick Douglass community in Plano, right?
No, I did not know that.
No.
Yeah, it's right off the outskirts. It's right across the street from the police station. It
wow.
got one of the world's probably one of the nation's oldest churches over there. A lot of the houses look like the shotgun type houses that were in South Dallas, but they've been fixed up. It's a whole mural on the wall over there that shows like it has like they have a Frederick Douglass recreational center over there. They have those houses. They've all been upkept. It's descendants of the Frederick Douglass of the Douglass community.
Oh, you said the descendants of him?
Descendants of the Douglass community. I believe it. It's and then it's two graveyards over there. It's a white graveyard and a black graveyard over there, man, if I remember correctly.
Yo.
And the one with the black people started by a musician, I believe. He was from Louisiana. He saved up his money in order to buy that side of it because he wanted his people to be buried with their people because they couldn't even be buried in their own community.
Damn.
But it's called the Douglass community in Plano. And then when you speak on that, you talk about one of the oldest black neighborhoods, or what I would say area in Texas is actually in the nation it's called Joppa. It's over there in off of 45 and Loop 12.
Oh wow.
They call it Joppa or Joppa because it's like they said the southern drawl made it sound like something else when the man be out there with the straw in his mouth and trying to say it to the person doing that. A lot of that's spurned off of the railroad and people coming this way, you know what I'm saying, in order to find jobs and find work. And there was a Millimore plantation that was there. Now that plantation sits inside Old City Park. That house that was on that plantation. But I'm saying that because we always looking at schools like, we always looking at Booker T. Washington. We always looking at that was actually a Booker T. Washington High School in West Texas.
There was?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me get my facts right for y'all recording me. I might be, but
Yeah. Thanks, your ass. As if it's ain't what you got?
Well, I found that Douglass Community Center, and that's kind of weird. Like he had roots from Texas to DC.
right.
That's crazy.
And I want to say that there was a Booker T. Washington school. I can't find it on like trying to Google it in West Texas because they have a museum in West. It talks about the fertilizer explosion and stuff like that. And when you walk in, there's a corner where they showed them having, I want to say, a black basketball team with a black either coach or principal at that time.
Bro,
And it was in West Texas, like the city of West.
bro, I'm so disappointed.
Wow.
I'm like this Douglas Center. You know how fucking far it is from my house?
Uh,
I don't even want to tell you. Like I could get there. Like I'm just it's just I don't know, man. It hits me different, man. Like it's.
We know you got somewhere to take
You know,
the kids.
But see,
No
okay,
way
so
you do.
I'll take it further than that. What's funny about that is how y'all spoke on liquor stores and stuff like that earlier, right?
Yeah.
So when you go into these communities and these neighborhoods, that particular community is right around the corner from the police. And then when you cross the street, there's the downtown. Had it not been for a big sign that's on the corner and them speaking on it, you wouldn't even know it was back there. They even have an African American, a small museum off in there too.
So why is that? So there's some icons in DC. Southeast DC is like Southside Dallas. That's the black area of DC. Everything
Right.
across the tracks. I think in every city, south or east, is the black side. So
Right.
Southeast DC is the black area, and that's where all the black people were pushed to, and the prominent black people live there also, right along the Anacostia River. But there's three things in Southeast DC that everybody knows. The big chair is a big giant chair that sits right on Martin Luther King Avenue. Frederick
Okay.
Douglass House and St. Elizabeth's. St. Elizabeth's is that crazy house where that guy that shot Reagan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they put the crazy house in the black community. That's what we said.
Okay.
It takes up like 6 blocks. So those are the three things in Southeast DC that every black person knows about. You know, and then later on they put in the National Black Museum.
Yeah.
So my thing is this: how many black people that are from the DFW know about the Frederick Douglass community?
Look,
And why not?
the fact that me and you didn't know about it says a lot.
That's a good question. I mean, because
Do we not
So
talk?
it's a good question. I don't. It could be that, but at the same time, what's crazy about that is that it's one of those communities or used to be in almost every area around here. That was actually a similar community that was in Irving.
Well, let me ask you this question.
You know what I'm saying?
I have a better question for you. The march, the MLK march.
Right.
Why is it held downtown Fort Worth?
No, there's two of them. No.
There's actually two.
There's
The
two.
main one actually is held in down.
No.
It's held through South Dallas.
That's the one I went to that one
It-
5 years straight.
It's
Yeah.
South Dallas where though?
It's
It goes
right off
around over there in South Dallas near the Fair Park area on either Pennsylvania or Martin Luther King Street, I believe, over there in that area.
What's significant about holding it there?
'cause
That's
it
the
goes
black
around
community.
everything. It's the black community. It really is.
But we have Frederick Douglass community.
Yeah, but like.
But do they have a Frederick Douglass parade or Frederick? Like they don't.
But see, the thing is this.
They got
the
an MLK Day. They don't have a
Exactly.
Frederick Douglass Day.
See, the
I'm
one,
saying-
the one in South Dallas, it runs down there. I went to it 5 years in a row. It's actually amazing. I love it. I stopped because it was really, really cold. Man, it always was cold on those MLK marches. But
It
runs
is cold.
down. But I've been to that one several times. But it runs down with the most prominent, I guess, African American community in the Metroplex.
But the reason why I'm asking is like, I know you might not consider Arkansas the South. I consider Arkansas the South.
It is.
Hold on, watch your mouth. Watch your
He know what it
motherfucking
is.
mouth. Watch your motherfucking mouth.
Hey man,
You watch your you trying to start some
Bill
shit.
Clinton don't get y'all a pass, bro. Y'all
Hold on,
in the
hold
South.
Hold on.
I consider it the South. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Look at it.
The Mason-Dixon line separates the North and the South.
I'm gonna do this shit
I
right
got a
here.
video about y'all banging in Little Rock.
You see it in the background. You see that shit in the background.
Yeah,
You
y'all.
motherfuckers out.
Yeah,
No, fuck that.
it's still the South. So
We the South. God damn it.
you're in the South.
Yeah.
So I'm from the North, and I'm gonna tell, and I tell everybody from the South that I meet, I tell them all this. We're educated different.
True.
I'm gonna tell you why I think. I've been to schools in both. I've been to school in DC. I've been to school in Louisiana. I spent 1 year in Louisiana, and I spent 1 year in Texas. So, what I found out in Texas, in the South, is more the education, the way things are done in schools. It was to keep me subjugated, to keep me submissive, to be less empowered. Whereas when I grew up in school in DC, I told you we sang the Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, every day, every assembly, and we sang and we did the Pledge of Allegiance.
But see, what's funny about that? We did that at my school too, and it was in like a middle class area. We sung the Negro National Anthem. We did the Pledge of Allegiance to the Texas flag. We did the one to the American flag.
That's what I don't like.
We did all of that. Yeah.
How do you sing the Negro National Anthem
And then do that.
Pledged allegiance to a flag that perpetrated slavery.
Right.
Like, are you serious right now?
Right.
See, Arkansas was a little different. Like where we were from, like that whole community shit. That's how we all got in. Like we did. My uncles, aunts, grandmas, we didn't expect the school to educate us. We was like, it was really a community there. And like, yeah, I think we country, we country them up, and we shucking corn and shit. So
let me
like,
ask you, Jr. And
Said shucking job.
the old people,
shucking corn, man. What the fuck you talking about?
the old people in Arkansas and in Texas, right? Did they have the mentality of yes, massa? We're okay with this because like it used to be worse than this.
No, my grandfather told me, look here, it was. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna put it on the show. I didn't want to put it on that, but the reason I kind of thought the way I did is because my grandfather and my grandmother and aunties and uncles have taught me that like they're out to get you. Make that shit on your own. So it's I've always had this mentality of like, yo, it's us against the world.
Okay.
And that's how I've navigated.
I just know there's a lot of older generations in the South that have that let's don't go against the grain mentality.
No, see that thing was more like we gonna eat this shit, but for our kids, we need y'all like because my granddad out of third grade he dropped out of high school. He was only educated past third grade. One of the most intelligent men I've met. But his thing was like, yo, to all my grandkids, yo, y'all gotta make it. Like we went through the shit, we went through the mud. Y'all got to be better. So they was on some shit like, whatever it takes, get out and get yours.
Yeah.
And I always thought that's why Texas stayed red because the black people in Texas were brainwashed per se to say, okay, this is the way it's supposed to be.
I think I'm not from Texas, but I'm speaking. I think it was like Arkansas. Do what you got to do to get out.
But that's the thing. So do what you got to do to get out. Was that going with the grain until you get out of the situation?
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Do what you got to do. Because see, the thing is this. Here's a problem also I run into. You have some of these sleepwalking motherfuckers talking about, I ain't working for the man. I ain't working for the man. Fuck you talking about? Every job you do is gonna be working for the man.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, it's a fine balance because they want to tell us, look here, this is the white man's world. You have to be able to play some type of ball. Do what you need to do to get what you need to get to be who you want to be. So yeah, there was a sense of teaching within us of like, okay, this is how you get by this. Okay, if you're dealing with this, bite your lip till it bleeds. Do what you need to do. Get on top. Once you get on top, come back.
Hey, you know what?
What's up?
It kind of makes sense now. What I hate to say his name, Tucker Carlson is talking about. So like up north, right? We never had to really worry about that too much.
Yeah.
To a degree, but not to the extent of people down south or what we consider Virginia on down. You know what I'm saying? Because black people had some sort of freedoms back then.
Yeah,
like,
I can do nothing I want to. Down here,
like we had black. Like I told you, my family was some of the first black politicians in DC. No. So
in Tennessee, Texas, and Arkansas, that's kind of where my family's from. Yeah, it was a different ballgame.
So you had that mentality of do what I gotta do. Let me just get through this situation to get out of here, right?
Yeah.
And then now, like with the Mexicans being right here in Texas,
yeah.
And if you let all them over, well, Texas is gonna turn blue for sure. Texas would definitely turn blue. Texas would turn blue.
You think so?
I know so.
Well, here's the problem.
I'm gonna tell you why they're gonna turn blue because of the narratives that are being pushed, not because of what's factual, but because you got to think on every political campaign. We talked about it earlier. Democrats usually push for this certain group of people.
Yeah.
And even like I told you, Tucker Carlson even is helping them by saying what the Republicans aren't going to do. You know, it's just like you're helping push that narrative. So the more migrants that come over, the closest place for them to go to are California, New Mexico, and Texas.
Here's the problem. The politicians that you have that are trying to take over Texas has one thing fucked up. And I'm not saying this because you always say because I'm a gun guy. This is Texas. This is Texas. Beto will never win Texas because you have a significant amount of black people that believe in the 2A. Like it will. I get what you're saying. Texas is gonna turn blue until we get a politician that understands and respects the rights. Like if they
I'm glad you brought that up.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about that.
Let's do it.
We're supposed to talk about that, and we got beef fish on here. Good.
Beef fish.
So,
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Hey, you
Here we
took a
go.
drink too. Hold on. I can take a drink too, motherfucker.
So, I give you your gun right? Why can't it just be a revolver?
Man, look at hey on that.
You said you asked for a gun right. You asked for the right to bear arms.
Look, thank y'all for coming out. Y'all have a good night.
No,
It can't be a revolver because the typical criminal now does not carry just a revolver.
but your whole thing,
No.
JR's whole thing was the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment right.
No. Stop.
Let's go.
Stop putting words in my mouth.
Come on.
I'm right. I want to be able to protect my motherfucking family. And if the motherfucker comes through that door, you got a semi-automatic with 17 rounds, I want to be able to stop him.
Here we go again. All right, let's go. Remember, I had this discussion with you a long time ago about
Yeah, we
death
did.
penalty.
We got
Automatic death.
hold on. Hold on. Are you sure we want to get? Because like right
Yeah,
now,
I want to get to this.
stop. We're an hour and 37 minutes over.
I know that's
So I'm saying
30 minutes.
whenever we get into this, it's gonna take an hour. So I'm
No, 30
saying,
minutes. We'll put 30 minute cap.
is everyone really willing to take another 30 minutes of this show?
30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes.
Fish, you got 30 minutes?
I do, man.
You got
Nice.
30 minutes?
I'm cool. Let's roll.
Okay, all right.
This is my proposal, Fish, was this. So, death penalty for anybody who has a firearm. Well, he says he wants his gun right. Okay, I'll give you that. So,
Okay.
death penalty for anybody who has a firearm that's not a revolver. Automatic death penalty. If you manufacture it, if you have the tools to manufacture it,
His face.
you have a magazine, it's automatic death penalty. Automatic death penalty. You still get the right to bear arms. You have your revolver. You better be a quick trigger, like back in the day, Billy the Kid.
That ain't gonna work.
Why?
Because that means you have to turn the police into just revolvers too, and the streets gonna run amok. They're not gonna stand a chance.
The police don't have to be just revolvers. They're law enforcement.
But you say that, but we can take it to California. In California, the only person that's supposed to carry technically a high cap magazine is the police. Other than that, a civilian is only supposed to have 10 rounds.
But the problem is that it's being manufactured in the United States. They can get it from anywhere.
Actually, they can, but they can't import them over there because it's against the law.
But the thing is, it's easy. So if you make, to me, if they made that illegal across the United States, it's going to be harder to get.
Okay, so what about the countries where people are just getting in cars and running over people, or that dude that killed like 30-something people with a bow and arrow and the other guy with a knife? You taking those away too?
No, I said, yeah, we have knives. We have, what I say?
All of them are arms. All of them are arms. It's not just, it's not right.
We have crossbows. We still have those.
It was a dude that went and killed a whole, like he killed like 20-some people on the island with a knife, I believe, or a bow and arrow.
Well, if somebody had a revolver, they should have been able to shoot his ass.
No, that ain't how it worked. Because you run out of bullets. You only get like 5 or 6, unless you got to shoot in the hole like 12.
They got speed.
Oh man, come on, man. You talking about? Okay, you watch Lethal Weapon. You going Mel Gibson or you going Danny Glover?
I'm going to keep these automatic weapons off the streets.
But they're already on the streets. It's too late for that.
It's not.
Thank you.
It's too late for that.
No, look at it.
The police had to step up their game in what they carry because they were behind. Did you see the shootout in Los Angeles, California, when those 3 dudes had robbed that bank and they were out there with body armor? The police couldn't even put them down
because they had body armor on.
Give out your police revolvers. Who winning? All the police would have been murdered.
But I said that the police and military can have automatic weapons while they're on duty.
They already do have automatic weapons. We don't. The civilians don't. That's what I'm
saying. So, but my thing is this, but we don't need semi-automatic weapons either as civilians.
Stop.
A revolver actually can be semi. All right, go ahead.
Hold on. Hey, David, I'm not doing this to insult you, but like,
Go ahead.
A semi-automatic is the same as you just have to squeeze it. That's all it means.
But you have a bigger magazine in the semi-automatic.
So what you're not arguing semi-automatics. You're
arguing the number of rounds you get to carry.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Now I just want to make sure it's like, cause at that the route you was going, I ate your argument up. I'm just saying, I just wanted to make sure that you understand.
It's the round and the number of rounds that can be fired off.
The reason I'm saying that is because 94% of people believe what you just said. Oh, these semi-automatics are out of control.
Nope.
It's not a semi-automatic problem, because every gun I have in my house is a semi-automatic.
Right.
But I'm just trying to make sure, because here's the thing we know about politics: wording means everything. So I want to make sure you don't understand.
That's why I chose revolver.
No, you just said semi-automatic.
No, I'm saying that's why I said everybody have a revolver. I don't want anybody to have.
So your argument shouldn't even go back to revolver when you're talking about round count. Your argument should go back to banning high cap magazines. Because a semi-automatic with a 6 shots versus a revolver with a 6 shots can be shot just as fast, depending on how fast your trigger finger is.
How fast the shooter is, right?
Exactly. So that you're arguing round capacity versus the type of gun that it is.
Yeah.
So your thing is like the round capacity.
In the instant, but yeah, that's true. I can see
You're
that.
saying the round capacity needs to be limited to what? 6 shots?
I say 6.
All right. Now, Southern California has a round capacity of 10.
They have 10.
10. Now,
let's go. So,
now, who do you all think was carrying 10-round magazines when they have the gang wars and all that kind of stuff out there?
Nobody.
In California, where they have this law already.
Nobody.
They have this law in California, and it ain't stopping nothing.
That's the thing. So, like, just like this abortion law, right? If it's not in every state, somebody will cross the border and go get an abortion. Point blank, period. That's why they're trying to federalize it and make it a national law.
Yeah.
They want to federalize and make it a national law. Then again, the consequence. That's why they said any doctor, any nurse, anybody, life in prison.
Yeah, but they got 3 strikes law in California, and that still ain't stopping them from breaking the law. It's life in prison, right?
Yeah.
I would assume that that breaks a federal law by carrying more than 10 rounds.
I don't know if it's state or federal law, but my thing is death penalty. So I'm gonna put it to you like this, and the reason why I say that, I'm a convicted felon. I'm expected to walk this earth without a handgun, without a gun. Period. I can have a powder gun. I don't even know if they sell those anymore.
They do.
But I'm expected to walk this earth with a powdered gun.
So why should I be punished because of the decisions that you made with your life?
I'm not saying that you should be punished. I'm not saying that you should be punished. What I'm saying is that if I'm expected to survive, right, then everybody else should be able to survive.
Yeah.
But I didn't break the law to where they want to take away my privilege to carry 10 rounds versus
17 years old, I expect the state of Texas to convict me as an adult for one mistake I made in my entire life. Nobody else has. The military hasn't. The schools haven't. Nobody.
That's a judicial system problem.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But I'm going through life while having to have one just fine. But my whole thing is I'm looking at how many black people are dying.
Yes.
I'm looking at all these mass shootings that are happening. Yes. And so what's the resolution?
All right, so here.
So why couldn't these mass shootings happen with a revolver with a speed loader, like you said?
You said why couldn't they? The thing is, they're not. So what's the resolution? I can't go on.
You don't think some of these people have been shot with a revolver?
They have.
Well, the mass shootings lately, they talking about all semi-automatic weapons. That's what they're talking about right now. AR-15s, the SM, whatever that dude just had. Like, that's what they're using right now. The Buffalo guy. It wasn't an AR.
But technically, with an AR, so you're still talking about round count, because technically, with an AR-15, they do sell 10-round magazines. They sell 5-round magazines. So even if they limit it to that, he could still have that same gun.
But you okay? So now, in order for you to take a revolver and to be that quick of a shooter, that takes years and years of practice.
Not really.
Not really.
How long you think? So you telling me that Brandy can go out here and shoot off her 9mm, and in a couple of months do a revolver the same way?
If Brandy got proper training and about a
listen to what you just said. She had to have what?
Proper training.
Proper training can take place in a day. That's like 3 hours.
So do you think these people are going and doing these mass things? They're not training for this. They're trained to do this. They're going with the mental mindset like, yo, I'm gonna kill as many motherfuckers as I can.
And then at that, they're not sniping nobody. They're shooting from like 4 to 6 feet away.
They just spraying. They just spraying. Yeah, they just spraying.
So, but no.
But okay. So I'm gonna flip it then. On the AR-15, the round that is in there is just a souped up 22. It's just a rifleized 22. Okay. But they got revolvers out here that's shooting 50 caliber rounds.
Yeah.
Caliber rounds.
Right.
357. Like,
one shot.
Right.
You got some of these that like, cause like you hear about people getting shot, but they still making it. Some of these revolvers, they hit them once, they're not coming back.
Right.
So it's like, my thing is, I'm trying to get to a good medium to where we understand. Like, I want to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand I do, but I want to make it make sense.
So I'm asking the both of you now. What's the resolution?
So I'm glad you said that. What did I tell you about 3 weeks ago?
I remember, re-enlighten me.
I said, this is it. I said, as far as the resolution goes, I think we can come to one. But when someone says, take this away, it's not going to fix the problem. Because people, I'm gonna say, people like you think that's a simple fix. Oh, take this away, it's gonna be no problem.
Right.
The problem is still there. We just talked about it an hour ago.
We talked about the background check. The background check is not a fix.
The only people that you're gonna take it away from is the people that play by the right rules and by the law. The criminals are gonna have it regardless.
They're still gonna do it. All you're gonna do is allow people. So
they legalize marijuana and people still sell it illegally.
Yeah.
Because it's not legalized in every state. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but in that particular state, people still buying different strains and stuff like that they can't get at that particular store.
So what I'm saying is this. I agree with you. We need to find a fix, but just throwing something for the sake of
taking it away ain't the fix.
But we need to figure out something.
So what's the fix? Like they always say, when there's a problem and you want to address the problem, have a resolution.
Yes.
But I simply keep saying there's eventually be a fix. There's eventually gonna be a fix. That doesn't fix the problem.
No. You're the I'm glad you're the one that's saying that what is your solution?
I gave you my solution, but you don't like my solution.
No, what I'm saying is
because even you know that solution is asinine. You know that's not gonna work.
No, I don't think it's asinine. I think it can work. Because like I said, like I told you, I use countries like the Mid Eastern countries where if you steal something, they chop your fucking hand off. It doesn't stop everybody from stealing, but the majority of the people ain't stealing over there because they don't want to get their hand chopped off.
But this is go ahead.
So the last 7, not 3, 2, 4, right. The last 7 countries that has imposed some sort of ban on.
What was the consequence? My consequence killed the motherfucker. That's my consequence.
I understand what you're saying. I'm trying to start with the basis, and we'll work our way up there.
Okay.
Every country that came out, the last 7 countries that had some type of guns law ban or whatever, right. Their murder rate has increased 3-fold.
Right.
All right. So we realized, okay, that's not going to work. Let's just figure out a way to make that.
The concept, like I said, like, okay, if I tell my kid, every time you sneak out the house, you lose your phone for an hour. You know, okay, fuck it. I'll lose my phone for an hour and take a chance on sneaking out the house for 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
If I tell my kid, you sneak out this house again, I'm going to sit your ass in your room, take everything when you're locked in your room for 30 days. It might be a little bit more of a deterrent. I'm just saying the consequence.
How many drug kingpins do you think there are in the United States of America?
I don't know. They changed the charge because back when drugs first came out, everybody was getting slapped on the hand.
All right, but right now, the RICO law is taking people down, right?
Big fish.
So my thing is this, right?
Go ahead.
We have had drug laws on the books for how long? Just give me a guess.
Since the 80s.
Since the 80s. So we're about 40 years in. Has the drugs even slowed down a fraction?
Crack has slowed down. Because
Crack is slowed down. Crack is slowed down because it's an old drug.
I'm saying it keeps
New
evolving.
drugs.
It keeps evolving.
No. I'm gonna put myself in the big screen.
It keeps evolving.
Hold on. Listen. You're sleepwalking. No, you're sleepwalking because you believe. No, listen.
Hey, no, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it.
Because you're saying that yes, crack has slowed down, but the drug problem has only increased every single.
We still got dope fiends.
Because it's a new drug. You're comparing something that's evolving to something that's.
You don't think drugs? You don't think guns are?
I'm saying you're making faster guns or however. I'm not in the gun world, but I'm just saying, like, as far as people, you have access to guns. It's still a gun is a gun.
Yes.
A gun is a gun.
A drug
right?
is a drug, right?
If you want to look at it that way, yeah, a drug is a drug.
It's the same thing, bro. Like I can have a P365 or this new.
But me, okay, but so I'm gonna put it to like this. Like the way I'm looking at it is like this. I can go out here and get a gun and go down my neighborhood and shoot the whole fucking neighborhood with no training or no nothing. Just shoot everybody come out their house. Just point and spray.
Yes.
You can actually get in your car and run over everybody in the neighborhood at a block party too.
I can do that too. Yeah, I can do that too. But the odds of them running away from a car is better than them running away from a bullet.
Okay.
They actually can. That's why they have classes that teach about active shooters and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
It's training. It's training.
Right.
Right.
But the average. But now me going out here with I can go ahead. I got a cabinet full of drugs and go out here with my drugs. They have to come and get them.
Oh my bad, I got excited. You know
what I'm saying? I'm talking about like they have to come and get them.
So you can sell drugs and kill thousands of people. Thousands.
Actually, they don't have to come get the drugs. You can watch YouTube and make them.
So my thing is this: so you can sell drugs and kill thousands of people, or I can run out in the supermarket and kill 10 to 15.
We didn't address that. I told you earlier in the 80s when I was selling drugs, I sold them because the penalty was minute if I got caught.
Look at it. I'm telling you, no. I'm glad you said that because the reason I sold fucking drugs back in the night, it didn't have shit to do with me getting caught. I didn't give a fuck about getting caught back then. It was cool. It was some shit to do, and the gang affiliated shit that I was running with is what we did. It had nothing to do with consequences. And I'm telling you that from the bottom. I'm not lying.
That's you. But so some people thought like I did. Some people thought like you did. The risk reward factor. The risk reward factor was better back in the 80s.
Yes. But see,
so let me flip it then.
Go ahead.
So say that you were able to, you didn't have this felony thing attached, right? And you were able to own a gun. Would you feel differently?
No. I like the reason why I say that is because I have access to a gun. I've always had access to guns, no matter whether I had them, got it myself, or I have access to guns.
Okay, so with you saying that, we take away all these guns from law-abiding citizens. You think the criminals gonna still have access to guns?
They still have access to guns.
And then now we're sheep. Now we're all just.
But the thing is, so
because the police are not gonna come to certain neighborhoods no matter what. They're not coming.
So hear me out. Just like people get pulled over now and get caught with guns, right? Now they get caught with a gun, slap on the wrist. Depending upon.
No, it's a felony. It's not a slap on the wrist. It's a felony.
Just because it's a felony don't mean you're doing serious time. Just because it's a felony don't mean you're doing serious
time. They don't have to do time, but they can no longer own a gun once they become a felon.
Okay, but exactly. But
your whole point is to get the guns out of people's hands, right?
Right. The whole point
that a felony is going to do that.
Right. But listen to what I said. If they're right now, they only do 2 to 10. Right. So if I wanted to right now, I can go get me a gun. I could take that chance. Even with the felony conviction, I can go take that chance. I'm looking at 2 to 10.
Right.
That's the penalty.
Right.
Okay, so if I really want to, I could go take that chance. If you tell me, hey, if you're caught with a gun, you're going to die. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no nothing. No probation. You're going to the death penalty. We're going to kill you if you get caught with a gun. That's a bigger deterrent for me to go out there and risk being caught with a gun. That's
So
what I'm
maybe
saying.
so then I'll go further. Then maybe that should be imposed on the people who shouldn't own guns, and not imposed on the people who can lawfully own guns.
That should be because that's we had this conversation earlier. Just because you pass a background check, don't mean you're suitable to own a gun. The only thing we agreed on before is anybody that has a gun should go through an FBI profile check.
So how many people? Okay, J. Edgar Hoover was one of the most corrupt people in history that ran the FBI, and they got guns, but they cool.
We talking about the FBI?
Yeah, they cool. You cool with them having guns when they the ones who put all of us in jail because we had an ounce of weed and we can't get out of jail right now? People been in jail for 50 years for an ounce of weed. What I'm saying is you want the corrupt people to have them, but the people who can pass the background check can't have them.
Well, you're confusing me right now.
I'm not, because what they actually let police officers in Dallas that had small drug records become police officers because they had a shortage.
And they still have them right there.
They get to carry a gun, and they get to stop people like me that have never had anything on my record.
Right. So if you get stopped now with a gun, with that same person stopping you, you can't just shoot him.
No, I can't. He can shoot me and get away with it because he's the law. That's the problem.
He can do that now.
That's what I'm saying. But
so
you said only police and military should be able to carry.
I don't understand your argument.
But my argument is this: some of them are more corrupt than the average citizen, and you saying it's cool for them, but it's not for us because we're citizens.
So what I'm saying is anybody that can, but I can't control who hires them. That's not on me to control. But I'm talking about, you're talking about how to get the guns off the street, correct? That's what you asked me.
Right, but what I'm saying is now you're setting yourself up to be victim to all of the corrupt people out there that are still going to be able to get them. So how do you stop them when they're protected by law in order to be? I know you can't shoot them now. I heard that, but what I'm speaking on is that it's not just them. It's the criminals and stuff like that too. If they only gonna get 2 to 10, they gonna keep killing us. Even if they get caught with a gun, it doesn't matter.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I say if they get charged with death, to me, I think, and we can debate this, but I feel.
So, does the police officer get charged with death? I'm gonna tell you this.
If he's in the line of duty, you said if he's in the line of duty, or if he's not in the line of duty.
In the line of duty doesn't make it justified. We've seen that.
Doesn't make it justified. Check this out. I'm gonna tell you this.
But y'all's argument about the police having a gun and the civilian not having a gun, I understand this.
Because you said they're the only people that should have one. Them in the military.
Right, but they can shoot you now.
Just because you're in the military doesn't mean you're mentally stable enough to carry a gun.
That's not what I said. I said they can have them on duty, military. You don't need a gun off post. You don't need a gun off post.
But I'm gonna say this one time.
Who's gonna protect the free world?
But I'm gonna say this one time, and hope I don't go to jail for this. All right.
Go ahead.
If my kid's with me, I'm holding. If a cop or whatever, law enforcement or federal agent want to pull he took his shit off because he know what the fuck I'm about to say. I'm getting my kids the fuck home. Whoever the fuck is want to get between that, whether it be a corrupt cop or whatever, I'm gonna make an example of this nigga. I'm getting my kids the fuck home. I'll do 25 to life in a prison cell before I let some fucked up cop or FBI agent, whatever government agency, feel like, oh, I know this nigga ain't got a gun, I'm about to do him. My kid's making it home. Point blank, period. All right, we're going to end the show on that. It's 2 hours over the point. We coming on 11 o'clock, y'all. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. My bad. I just had to put it out there, man. No,
we're going to pick up on that when you get back.
Oh, yeah, we picking up on it. Not mine. That's all I'm going to say. All right, B-Fish, any closing words before you out?
I have none, man. I'm still confused as to why I got to die because I want to own a gun.
You gotta die.
You gotta die. You the criminal. Damn, yeah. I just want to protect my family.
Just because, B-Fish, you want to be somebody who protects his family, you gotta die. Hey,
right.
Mr. Versace, what you gotta say? Mr. Versace.
I want to be a resolution.
All right, go.
Stop, because all my people are dying right now. It ain't a bunch of shootings. It's all black people that are dying right now. So you come up with a resolution.
How come it's not?
Why are your people dying, man?
You say why?
Yeah, why?
Because we're getting shot up by white people.
So if you want to take our rights to be able to protect ourselves, how is it going to change?
You fight now.
Yeah.
And it's not changing anything.
So the thing is this, we need to keep educating ourselves. We talked about this earlier, right?
You're going to end this conversation. We're going to go on for another 30 minutes because we're going to
No. What I'm saying is this. We talked about two different things, right? Talking about educating our people, right?
Right.
I think that's at the point where we are now. We have to understand us as a people. We have to depend on ourselves to protect ourselves. We do.
Did you shut that
Good Americans who are trained, good Americans that need personal protection. I don't care what city you talk about in America, we cannot be everywhere. Look, let me give you an example. We had a 91-year-old man just last week pulled out of his car at gunpoint, thrown in the snow, carjacked. And there's story after story. This is about personal protection. And unfortunately, I don't care if you're talking about Los Angeles, a place I spent 28 years, or in the state of Maine, the police cannot be everywhere. This is about personal protection, and in some instances, the protection of others, because we've seen our Good Samaritans. We've seen them go to the aid to others because they were good Americans with concealed weapons permits.
Y'all have a good night. Thank you. Henry, you got to close us out.
Why? Oh, thank y'all for coming. God bless and good night.
Come on.
Get them